Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing okay. And I'm back and I brought a guest. Can you
Hi.
guess who it is?
Hi there. Hi, folks.
It's my husband. Yay. So I thought it would be cool to do a video where we kind of compare our memories of things, because obviously I think of things differently with no pictures or sound. So I wanted to compare what it's like for us. But I wanted to ask one thing before we start. We tried not to plan anything because I wanted it to kind of feel more
I think it's
spontaneous.
fair to say we didn't plan. We didn't try. No, we just didn't. So.
But I want to ask you because on my last video, somebody had posted a comment saying he's a streamer and he said that when he films, he imagines people behind the camera. So I want to ask you, because we're filming this to put online for people to watch. So while we're doing it, are you imagining people behind the camera?
Sorry, was that question directed at
Yeah,
me?
that's for you. So when you're talking into this camera, are
Oh,
you imagining that you're
no,
talking to
absolutely.
people?
No, absolutely not.
No.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay, so I thought maybe that was something all of you guys did. No, so you're imagining, like you're just talking into the
No,
video
but I
too.
can imagine that could be a strategy that people use. But I mean, this is my first time
Now are
filming.
you imagining people, like, now that I've
Well,
said that?
yeah, yeah, it kind of influenced it. No, what I'm conscious of is just that I don't look like a muppet. I suppose that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay. All right. Well, so I thought we would compare memories of something like significant that it's easy to remember. So we've talked a bit about our vacations. So,
All right.
yeah. So maybe we'll start with our vacations to Australia. We've been to Australia twice, and both times we were with the same people, with his family. The only difference was the first time we went, I was pregnant, and the second time we went, our
Right.
daughter was there. So that's kind of the big significant difference between the two,
Right.
right?
Right.
So when we were talking about this the other day, I asked you how you can decide a memory is from our first trip or a memory is from our second trip.
Yes, and obviously it's clear to me because we had a toddler with us, right? And
Right, but you said something about the houses. You remember the
yes,
houses?
so besides the people in the trip being the same, yeah, the main difference was the houses that we stayed at during the holiday. So besides our daughter being there, the other reference point that I use is the house and the memories based on the house, and that's how I can clearly distinguish between the two trips. Yeah, I think
Right.
that's.
But for me, I don't have the house in my head. Like if you
Mm,
ask me specifically to think about it, I could kind of tell you, like, one, the TV room was farther back than the other one, but I don't see it. It's just an idea, but so I can't use that
so
as a marker for
so
me.
this is something we've talked about before. Really you should talk about the context. Yeah, maybe put some context. Like don't think about the house, whether it was the first house or the second house, but think about, like we talked about, we went and bought some sheets.
Right, right.
So after we bought the sheets, can you kind of recall where we took the sheets home to, and then that's kind of what seals it for
Right.
me.
Well, okay, so one of the trips we went to this, like, outlet mall, and we bought some sheets cuz you really wanted
Nice
sheets,
sheets.
like
Yeah,
from a hotel, like fancy, like big count sheets. Anyway,
big count sheets.
so I don't know what the word is. So we went to this one, and now the I don't remember what trip it is because I can use my daughter being there as a reference, but when we
Right.
were getting the sheets, perhaps she was
What's
asleep
it
in the
when you?
stroller, and then I wouldn't she wouldn't have been interacting with us, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't be thinking of her in that anyway.
Right. She was with our mother for that time being. Yep.
Right. So I can't, like, for me, I can't determine which trip it was.
Right. Right.
So I have no idea. And it's funny, actually, because we were talking about we went to another outlet mall when we went to New Zealand, and that was our most recent trip. And I was actually thinking that we had done that in Australia, but then I remembered we got shoes for our son. and our son wasn't alive yet when we went to Australia. So the only reason I know that's not the outlet mall in Australia was because we bought shoes for him.
Right.
And that's it. So I don't see the outlet mall. I can't remember what it looked like, but I know we bought shoes there.
Right. So this is the problem. Like, so here we are struggling with, one of us having this aphantasia and another one that has chronically terrible memory. So, yeah, between the two of us, we're trying to see how far we can get.
Right. Right. So I think another one that would be good is we've been to Japan a few times.
Right.
Right. Now I know, I'm pretty sure we've been to Tokyo Disney 3 times. We went for my 30th birthday. And I remember it was my 30th birthday because, it's your 30th birthday, so it's significant. So you remember that. So I know we went on my 30th birthday, and then we went once, just us, and then we went one time where we met up with our friends. Is that right? Or did we meet up with them both times?
No. So I remember we went both of us together when we were well and truly single, right? Not single, but just together rather. And then we went another time with friends, and then we just went recently for the rugby, right?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we went.
So those are easy to punctuate for me, right? Like, so that's how I remember.
Right.
them.
See, I honestly I didn't make the rugby connection until you said that, because I was thinking of all of my memories are separated. I think that's a really good distinction.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you've said the rugby, now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm associating that trip with the rugby, but before it was completely separate for me.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm thinking so I was trying to think of some kind of way to kind of explain how my memories are organized. Because you told me before your memories are like a timeline.
Sure.
Right? That's how you see it. And for me, mine are not like that. All of my memories are by activities, by actions. And so I was thinking, do you remember when you did a computer with MS-DOS and you put in your disk, and if you want to find something, you do find and enter, and you just get all this stuff, and it wasn't really in any order. If it wasn't in order, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was alphabetical. Maybe it was by file size. I have no idea. But it would just be random, like this. That's how my memories are.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily make the connection right away unless I stop and think about it. Like if we had stopped and talked about this second trip or this third trip to Japan, I would have got there that it was for the Rugby World Cup, but it doesn't come to me right away.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, what I'd like to talk about is we're talking about the vet during dinner time, right?
Yeah.
And that's quite an interesting one, because these memories we talked about, I didn't quite see it, and what really got me was a comment about a vet. So about 10 years ago, we had one vet in another part of town, and we left more than 10 years ago, and we've been in this other place in town, and what Courtney said to me was her memories of that vet from 10 years ago are as vivid as the one that we've seen for the last 10 years, which to me doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, I don't know if vivid is the right word, but to me they feel the same. I've told him before, sometimes he'll ask me for an example of something, and I'll give him a memory, and then he'll tell me that's from 10 years ago. It's too long ago. It's not a good example. And so I was telling him when we were talking about it today, just to let him know, I remember the vet that we used to take our dog to. I remember him and his office and what our dog did there as equally to the vet we take our dog to now. It doesn't feel like one memory is stronger than another memory. They just feel equal because it's all just data.
Yeah, very strange.
So literally for me, the things that we did yesterday feel the same strength in my head as memories from when we first met.
Sure, but anytime I refer to the vet, you know which vet I'm talking about.
Right, yeah. Obviously it's the vet we go to now.
Right. Yeah, so other times we get into contentious sort of discussions is when we try to draw on memories, and she kind of goes way back in the files in the back, and so yeah, it was just which is quite interesting too, and I mean, it was always this way, but we never questioned it. And now that we've, in the last month or two, had this discovery, it's made us think a bit about why that is.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure it's irritating for you. Like you'll ask me to give an example of something and it's from however long ago. Because what I've learned from like comments and reading different things online about this is that with your visual memories, it's very easy to make substitutions.
Sure.
So the farther back a memory is, the more degradation there could be to
Sure.
that memory, right? So
Yeah, so why are you hanging on to the very old ones?
right. So I would assume like very old ones would not feel as clear
Sure.
because the memory has degraded over time.
Right.
Whereas for me, my memories are all data all the time. Like it feels the same. Yeah. We were having another discussion too, just as talking about like my memory is like this data dump. So I was thinking about like my high school graduation. Like I remember it rained that day, so we had to do the graduation in the gym instead of in the football stadium. And I remember, the valedictorian gave a speech, and I remember the salutatorian gave a speech, and I remember everybody threw their hats, but I didn't throw mine because I wanted to keep it. And at some point, I went up there and got a diploma, or was it a piece of paper? I don't know what they gave me. I don't think it was the actual diploma. It might have been. Anyway, but I don't remember the order. So I don't remember who spoke when and what we did and this kind of stuff. I just remember the facts of what happened that day.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like for you, if you wanted to remember your high school graduation, you would like watch a movie and it would just all happen in order. No?
See, so not really. So the whole time you've been talking about this, I've been listening and then trying to picture my own. But I can tell you with 100% certainty, I've not thought about that day since it happened because I have absolutely no emotional connectivity to it. Like my parents weren't there; they were abroad. As soon as in fact, yeah, in fact, I told the rector, I said, I'm not gonna stay. I want to leave, and he didn't let me. So maybe that's part of it. But I can't. It wasn't important to me. People weren't there to watch it, and it was a formality. So I really can't.
But now, when you're thinking about it, do you see it like a movie?
I mean, I can pull some images from my mind, but I certainly don't see it with very much clarity that I can tell you the way that it all played out.
So if you think of a memory more often, like you recall it more
Sure.
frequently, it's stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
not the same for me.
Sure.
Because I could think about the same thing every day and it would still feel the same as something I only thought about once a long time ago. Like all of my memories feel exactly the same no matter what I do.
So I think this has always been a challenge, like with our discussions about this thing. Like I mean, it's great. We can only discuss here and share with people because I remember when this journey began for us. How long ago now? Like 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
And I was with the kids, and you're on Reddit or something, right? And you yelled out to me, "Hey babe, I think I've got this," and I'm like, "What on earth are you talking about?" And it's from reading stuff like what's it that Blake Ross is that his name, and that video. So what I want to talk about is that video that we watched. Was it the turtle tiger guy? The guy and his girlfriend, and they're sitting there and they're discussing.
Oh yeah. The mystic turtle or
mystic turtle. Yeah. So why I want to mention that is because all we can do is share our experience and then bounce it off other people, right? So this is the value of it. So all the time having these discussions with Courtney, I've always been like really hesitant to share. Why? Because I've told her like I don't want to be the one speaking on behalf of humanity about my experience as if it's the only way, the true representation of it all. So and just like we can only speak anecdotally and share, and then if people can I suppose that's the only way to go about it at this stage. So I suppose it's all valid.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring up, because it made me think when you said that about your graduation, how you haven't you haven't thought about that in years. So the other day when we were talking about this, and you said something to me, because it's an example that I've used a few times for something that we've done, and you said, why do you dwell on this? And I told you, I literally am not dwelling. Like, I literally cannot dwell on a memory. It's just like, when I put in these parameters, this is the kind of memory I want, this is the one that comes up. So like, I really, like, I can't dwell on memories at all. Like, the only time I bring them up is when I'm like talking to you about them, or if I'm like consciously making the decision to think about them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't like walk down the street and like see something and then I get a memory about something that happened to me related to that.
Sure. Maybe dwell is not the right word, right? The connotations.
Yeah. Yeah. So then the other one I wanted to talk about was so he had come home from work, and I asked him about the day, and he said it was really boring, so he didn't need to tell me. And then he's like, well, no, I'll tell you about it, but you can like make, think about something else in the background while I'm telling you. And I told him, well, I can't do that, because I don't think with an inner voice in my head, because he had said something like, you can like make a shopping list in your head while you listen to me or something. And I was like, no, I really can't do that. I don't know if it never dawned on you that I really couldn't do it, but like, I can't.
Yeah. Okay, and this will probably lead into a whole new episode on about this topic. Yeah, so I don't. I should touch on it now that Courtney's mentioned it. But yeah, the context was, it was something that I got hung up at work related, and I wanted to share, but like I really didn't want her to I didn't want her to give me her undivided attention, because it didn't demand it. And I just said, like, just potter around, do what you want to do, and I'll just sound off some stuff, and yeah, then it occurred to me, yeah, she said, well, I can't do that. And which is really strange, because we thought about it some more, and the comment that came from it was, yeah, I know when you're listening to me, this is where we're going, right?
Yes,
when you're listening to me, you're giving me your 100% undivided attention. And I know this to be true, even before this, Aphantasia stuff started.
Right. Well, that's why I thought it was important, because you noticed this about me before we found out about this.
And whereas, here it is, this is the, whereas when you're talking to me, and this is going to sound terrible, but I'm processing other stuff in my head too. And it's not like I'm being absent-minded, but I am taking stuff in, but I'm also processing stuff. And again, this is when I assumed everyone does this, except my wife, like I said, because she...
So before we found out that I'm not visualizing when other people do, why did you think I was paying such attention to you?
Well, no, because I know this to be true, because you'll focus on me, and I know, because it's I've always had this terrible guilt about it, right? When you're talking to me,
right? So why did you think I was doing it? Like, you just thought that was just my personality?
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you notice me doing that with other people too?
No, but it's more about our relationship, right? Like, you come home and you want to, and it's something I look forward to. You come home and you want to see how your partner's day's been, and you want to show what you've done, as well as pot around and do stuff you have to do at home. Mm-hmm. And what I find is, yeah, I can try and do few things at a time and have this something going, and then pretend I can listen and have everything 100% going in. Whereas for Courtney, when I'm talking to her, she's like this, and I know this to be true, and I feel absolutely terrible about it. So don't
feel terrible.
No, but then coming to this inner dialogue thing, I always say to myself, when this is happening, I'm like, when you're talking to me, I'm saying in my head, okay, stop it, look,
really?
Pay attention. Yeah, pay attention. Or at least at the very least, at least look like you're paying attention while you're doing all that other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Our whole relationship has been like that? I had no idea.
No, but yeah, again, only brought up, because of this FN stuff. And yeah, like I said, just coming from discussions and talks about how our brain works and the quirks and stuff. So,
yeah. Well, I think it's so funny because I think, I think every couple, you have that thing that you kind of like joke with each other about, like something that they do that's a bit off, or like I don't want to say annoying because it doesn't bother me, but it's like that thing you poke fun at because they do all the time. So like you kind of have your one, like you always make fun of how I sing, like I'm always off key. But his other big one is always that I cannot remember anybody's names.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's been lots of times like we'll come home and it'll be like, what was his wife's name? Why am I asking you? I know you don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like this kind of thing. Like it's not malicious or anything. It's that thing that we joke about because we know.
Right.
It's like our thing, right? And so my thing to you was always like, do you even listen to me when I talk? Like that, I always do that to you, right? So here you like I feel like this funny thing that we pick on each other, it's all due to our brains processing things differently. Because I have a horrible time remembering faces.
Yeah. Putting names to faces, and so by extension, it's having the facial for you, right?
Right. I think I don't have anything to pin it to. So like when I hear a name, it's the same as like if somebody said a random word like elephant. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't go with anything. So like for me, I can only remember people's names like after we've done stuff together. Like if we work together on a project at work, or if we go out and do something with our families, like I have to have an event to tie that name to. Right. But it's not like I don't recognize people. Like I'll when I meet them and then I see them again, I know that I know them. The name doesn't come at all.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm thinking we're getting up to like 20 minutes here. I thought, we'd do like 10 minutes.
All right.
So maybe we'll stop here. I think this was really good. And then
I hope
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys liked it, if it was more helpful than just hearing me talk about things. Sorry, my eyes are like going back and forth because we're using a different camera again, and then things over here, and I can't look at it. I keep wanting to look at my own face. But anyway. So now you're trying to look at it, right? I know.
Yeah.
So if this was more helpful to have somebody to kind of bounce things off of, let me know so we can do maybe another one like this.
Maybe with a bit of planning rather than just the.
I like the. Well, the thing is, this would be a whole nother video anyway. I can't really plan because like when I rehearse it, I forget it.
When you rehearse it, you forget it. Yeah. Whereas for me, for something like this, a kind of project like this, at least have a what do you call it, like a set sheet here.
Sure. Well, yeah. I could do notes,
sure.
But like a run through would mean nothing to me at all.
Okay. Well, anyway, the timer's on.
All right. Anyway, so it was nice to see you guys. I hope there was some interesting stuff here. I really want to know, like, if you were thinking before what my husband looked like, like, does this replace the imaginary husband you imagined me talking to? Because I had somebody on one of my first videos say, when I talk about you, he imagines me like sitting at the kitchen table talking to you. And I thought it was so weird because like, you don't know what my husband looks like. Like, what would you do? So yeah, so I'm wondering if everybody does that. And if so, will your mental image change to this? Or will it stay with the one you made up? I have no idea. Is that weird? I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, or if you had Brad Pitt in your mind, you'd keep Brad Pitt. It's quite fine.
That's fine. I'm just kidding. No. Okay. All right. So that's all. Do you have anything to say?
No.
Okay.
Thanks, people.
Bye.